This is my custom-made Arduino-based diagnostic tool running my own operating system, and today we're going to be creating a new app for it to be able to read raw CAN bus data connected to a car and display it on the screen like this. This is the prototype so far. It's based on an Arduino Mega 2560 with a few modifications and a 2.8-inch TFT display. Powering on the device, we see the startup screen for the custom operating system. Going into this, we actually go into the App Launcher app with some placeholder buttons for some of the features on the ad at some point. And today, we're going to be working on the CAN bus reading app. First, I need to make sure I could properly read and decode CAN bus information. So I've got out this old ECU to do some experiments with, giving it ground, permanent live, ignition live, and a way of tapping into the CAN bus network. And then I need an interface board such as this MCP2515, which will allow me to take the raw CAN bus data and convert it into a format readable by the Arduino. It should turn more complicated signals such as this into more readable signals such as this. I don't have another Arduino Mega, but I can connect to an ESP32 using SPI to test the code outside of the device. Here I've made a very simple test script to display some data onto the computer screen, where first we import the module for the CAN bus device, and of course we need to set stuff like CAN bus speed, which is normally 500k on the standard network on a car. Then we need to wait for a message to be received. We can display its ID, the message's data length, and the actual data itself. And we can see what this looks like this. To start making the app, I've made a new read app class in its own header file based upon the general app class I made earlier. I then have a .cpp file for this class for the implementation for stuff like grid spacing and button widths, background images that I've made in Canva, and all of the methods for drawing buttons on the screen and checking if any buttons have been pressed. And of course, our device can't use this app until it knows it exists, so we need to load in the header file at the top of our main app, and when the read app button has been pressed, create an instance of the app in the background, loading all the data, and then finally starting the app and kicking off its main loop. Now we can test the template for our reading app, ready for adding the CAN bus reading functionality. Now I can create a function to initialize the CAN bus controller, and then we can start displaying some information on the screen, such as the message ID, the message length, and then the actual data itself. With the device now plugged into CAN bus, if we select the read function, we now get data displayed on the screen. Now some messages are longer than others, so I want to dynamically adjust the text size to make sure that small messages are clearer to read and larger messages are able to fit on the screen.